Welcome, everybody. Don Giannatti here. We're doing an interview today with Yechiel Orgel, a photographer in New York City. And I happened to catch a little blurb, a little interview with him about how he started his business very recently. We're going to talk to him about that and worked his way up to shooting product in New York City and has a great client list. And uh, we were just chatting before the show and both agreed this is a great time to be a photographer. Just a fantastic time. The doom and gloomers have it wrong. Uh, they just have it wrong totally. So, Yechiel, welcome to the show.
Yes,
Uh,
welcome. Hello, hello.
so great to have you here, and that was interesting. I sent a newsletter out. Did you? Are you a subscriber to my newsletter, or did someone forward it to you?
Yes, yes, I'm a proud subscriber.
Oh, wonderful. Um, that's really cool. So I mentioned his work and this little article I'd read about him, and he contacted me. And thank you for doing that, Yechiel, and
You're welcome.
appreciate that. And so here we are chatting. So tell
Yes,
us.
and I want to pause you a second, actually. Thank you for helping me come to this level. I mean, your Creative Live event, which I kind of sat through probably 3 or 4 times, actually, word by word, like brought me up to a whole new level of understanding of the business and then the craft as well. So thanks for that.
Well, that's high praise. Thank you very much. That's super. Tell us a little bit about your story because I think it's fascinating. You sort of got interested in photography when you were working at B&H.
So working at B&H, and I started in sales, and then I moved up to marketing. But basically, it's in the industry. And what happened is, at one point, I got the photography bug. Okay, so I got that bug. Actually, I got into all the kind of toys and tools of it, and started. I got my equipment and I had some points. Actually, we used to work on some sort of points and on performance, and so I had some points I was able to afford in some equipment, lighting, and then actually I started in portraiture, families and children locally here, which was pretty cool actually. While I was kind of working my full-time job, but just kind of doing it as a business, as earning a living from it didn't make much sense for me. I mean, families weren't really willing to pay. I mean, for prints or based in our community, it wasn't really lucrative enough, I would say. So I moved on to events, and it also was, and I felt that based on my perfectionism. I mean, I used to sit through like hours and hours going through retouching and editing each individual image of a bar mitzvah or an event, and it was hours and hours, and there's a certain cap that you can charge here, at least in the community, like for an event. It's pretty much reaches I felt that I reached my ceiling. So I
Hmm.
moved on to commercial, and actually I saw actually a whole kind of new world opening here for me. I mean, there's the demand is growing here, and we have, I mean, everybody's the visual world. Actually, everybody needs images from larger national brands, established brands, smaller entrepreneurs. Actually, they're launching the small businesses, Amazon sellers. I mean, everybody needs images. Images is all about. I mean, this is, and actually, it came to. I mean, I felt actually there's no cap, there's no ceiling here. I mean, in other words, there's room for growth here. I mean, it's a
Right.
whole different world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, you're so right because if anybody's starting a business today, it's all about the imagery. Whether it's an app, clothing line, product, whatever, it's about image. We live in an image sensitive world, and
Sure.
we are vastly, I think, vastly underestimating our power as commercial photographers when we fall into the mindset that, well, anybody can do it. No, not anybody can do it. Anybody can take a picture, but not anybody can take a picture that works for a client to help sell their product. and their service, etc. So it's a fantastic opportunity for visually literate, exciting photographers to get out there and find the clients that they need and who are looking for them, by the way.
Right, and one other huge advantage that we have that we can, I mean, there's no attention span here. We can sit in the studio, focus on the lighting and composition, and just kind of, it might take a little bit longer to execute the right image, but getting it, nailing actually the vision that we want can be actually photography without styling, especially if we work with professional style. It's a whole new level, and I mean, you can sometimes just do 4 or 5 images. I mean, execute images, fully styled images, but getting it right, man, these are sellers. I mean, these images can just bring your brand to a whole new level. I mean, I try to convince my clients as much as possible, and depending on the type of work, to work with a stylist. I mean, which
Mm-hmm.
is, I mean, makes a huge difference. So the photographer can focus on the lighting, the composition, and and just have the stylist build the set and just execute the vision.
And smart clients know that a good photograph, a good visual, can increase sales by as much as double digit percentage. Um, and you'll even see it on low end places like eBay. If you have good photographs on eBay, you'll get a higher price for your product, whatever it is. Aunt Sophie's couch, you'll get a better price for it than if it's a bad image. You multiply that into the world of retail and consumer retail, which is who we normally shoot for. Um, that is huge. If good photographs increase sales by 10%, that can be, in some cases, that could be millions of dollars. Not
Yeah, I
pocket
think.
change, millions of dollars.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, you hit the Amazon or whatever eBay, you can see actually a professional image, and I mean professionally executed imagery and professional content. I mean, it's legit. You'll go ahead, you'll purchase, I mean, from that source, then kind of, looking at some unprofessional kind of image, look at, who's the seller, what's the source, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It does. It gives the consumer a real strong feeling of credibility, and that's so important. So, how long ago did you make the break to be a full-time photographer?
Well, this has been like a little bit more than a year. I mean, to go full time.
So, okay. Do you have a rep or anything? Or are you doing it yourself?
I'm not sure if they're called a rep, but I just signed up with Wonderful Machine.
Okay.
Um,
They're
yeah,
kind of a rep agent. They're kind of reps. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
so otherwise, I work with a couple of SEO support companies, try social. I mean, I try everything and anything in the sense of marketing. Right now I can't really point out what works and what not, but I try everything.
Excellent. That's great. What is your what's your average day like? Is there an average day that you have that you would say, well, this is kind of what my day is like, or better yet, yeah, what's an average week like for you?
That's a good question. Let's see. Um, Average week would be we'll have I would say 3 days of shooting. We'll have a couple of clients coming in actually joining the shoot, which is increasing recently, and it works much better. Um, I find it being a huge advantage. Smaller brands or even larger one will have their creative the creatives in the studio, and we can sit through the day, and just execute the vision that they're looking for. So we'll have 3 days of shooting, and then actually another 2 days, I would say, of editing the images. I mean, I outsource most of the retouching, but I just getting them ready for the retoucher with all detailed instructions and so forth. So it's pretty much I pretty much need to leave actually from 3 days shooting. I need to leave at least 2 days of editing and getting the images ready to my retouchers. Now, retouching varies depending on the budgets. I mean, I have retouchers on different levels. Some of them are like true graphic artists, and they transform an image to a whole new level. I mean, it's something major. But actually, then we have basic retouchers, which are more of kind of basic work. They're kind of more on the budget side of clients, I would say.
You have a very, very nice portfolio, very thorough portfolio, lots and lots of work. You have got to be shooting a lot of personal work up to the point where you left to become full time. Am I correct? Some
Yes,
portfolio.
actually, I make it. You're breaking up.
I'm
Hello?
sorry. Are you there?
You hear me? Yes, I make it a point. Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't finish giving you my whole week. Actually, so it'll be maybe like it'll be like 2 days shooting, 2 days editing, client work, and then at least a day actually of personal projects. I make it a priority. Right now, I mean, we've been an established studio for about a year. I mean, for full time, I used to do it actually part time, but I feel actually there's a lot of client work that it's not kind of portfolio type of work. It's not kind of, we do a lot of household, we do a lot of different type of products. We do appliances. They're not particularly, I would say, um, portfolio type of worthy. I mean, they're portfolio worthy, but they're not portfolio work. So actually, I dedicate at least a full day a week for personal projects. To right now, I'm working a lot on beverage. This is my next project will be probably cosmetics. I'm looking into perfume and more cosmetics to build up that area. I've been having actually pretty big demand of potential clients that they wanted to see more actually watch more watches, so I might kind of build a little bit that area. So it's pretty much 3 or 4 kind of niches that I'm going to try to expand in. Just I'm not going to do everything, probably not any portraits or headshots. I'm trying to focus in a couple of niches and just keep it focused as much as possible.
Yeah. That the challenge of being very busy shooting pictures that not are not necessarily portfolio work. That's a challenge a lot of us commercial photographers have. I can remember a couple of years where my biggest clients were J.C. Penney, a garage
Hmm.
door manufacturer. They made garage door openers, um,
Wow.
and we shot for them every single month. The new version, the new buttons, and etc. Big 4x5 jobs, but you don't put that in your portfolio. I mean, it wasn't that kind of work, you know,
Right.
stacked
So
up
I find,
things and
yeah, I find that a huge challenge, and I find actually that a lot of successful photographers to some extent might get blinded with busy work. And I'm trying to, I have friends and colleagues trying to convince them to, make it a point, charge more for the actual work, and make it a point to put away, yes, at least a full day a week, work on personal projects, work actually whatever you want to expand, because again, no one is gonna, no potential client is gonna come and see, wow, this guy has beautiful hinges on the site. I mean, the hinges, these garage door hinges are amazing. I mean, let's,
yep,
you know,
yep,
so that's a huge challenge, and you know what? Whenever actually things slow down, I think, you know what? I gotta be glad actually that this is right now, because if I get crazy busy and weeks go down, I go by actually, and I'm doing work that I can't really promote much, and just things dry out. I need to keep the fuel going. Actually, I need to get my creativity going. I need to get my social media going, that I'm working and I can show exciting work. So that's extremely important. And sometimes you can get in that rut. You're busy, actually, you're making money, nice. But at the end of the day, actually, that actually cosmetic photographer or that fashion accessory photographer is not going to come to you actually, even if you can show gorgeous hinges or whatever it is, or gorgeous door handles.
yes, absolutely right. Um, but you mentioned social media. What are you doing on social media? I noticed that you have a blog on your
Yes.
site. Yeah.
So right, right. My blog has been. I'm just trying to get back to blogging. Trying to, I told my SEO agency that I'm going to try to get back to it. least once a month, and eventually maybe we can do a bi-weekly blog. So that's very important to get some content out there to show Google that you're a living being. You're not just kind of a portfolio with images. You do work and you have content. There's text. That's extremely important. And then on social, actually, I'm trying to be as active as possible. I mean, Instagram has been growing pretty well. My goal is now to reach at least 5K followers within the next 6 months. Facebook is not, I can't say it's not growing as fast. It's kind of going very slow, but still. And Google Plus, it's owned by Google, so what should I tell you?
Sure.
It's Google. I mean, so
We, your, I was going through your blog last week and looking at some of your behind the scenes things. Now, you did not assist for a photographer. Do I understand that correctly? You just
I never, I never assisted for any
never assisted.
photographer, no.
So, how did you learn your lighting?
Actually, a lot online. Actually, I watched a lot, and I'm trying to implement what I learn online. And I did actually a little bit in B&H. Actually, I hung around actually, and in B&H Studio. Actually, they had their own studio where they shoot their products. So I
Yep.
sat and hung around actually quite a couple of days there. But it's pretty much online actually, and then implementing what I see, not just kind of sitting and watching. Just kind of you know.
So,
So yeah.
so creating, going back, finding what you like. Um, I love that. You have developed in a very short amount of time. You have developed a very nice style, and sometimes that takes longer than a year or two to develop. But you have definitely got a very clean, modern, minimalist approach to things that I think a lot of clients are going to like.
Right. I mean, I have to give credit actually. There's um, a guy in he's in California today. Actually, his name is Alex Kaskalov. Actually, runs the Photigy group. It's
Yep.
Photigy, and I've learned tons. It's probably the only community that really keeps on pumping content on, I would say, cosmetics, product, and splash and everything. So that that has been a huge help. Kind of just seeing what he does and implementing it in real life. That's I don't know if how I do it without. That's sort of the only source that it's continuous.
Wonderful. Yeah, I've seen his broadcast. He's very good.
Yes, yes,
Really, really great guy to have in the community.
yes. I
Super
mean,
guy.
just doesn't hold back anything. Shares
No,
a lot.
no. And there's, I've always found that personally, I don't know why anybody would hold back anything. Um,
You'll be surprised. In today's day of age, even with social media, I reached out to a couple of pretty large studios in the city, say, hey, I would love to just come by, see how you do your magic, your process. And to be honest, actually, I never heard back. And I have actually, starting photographers, beginners actually reach out to me on a daily basis, and my doors are open. Hey, just come and pop in, see what just keep on asking. I'll be busy shooting because I have some deadlines, but I'll be glad. I want to give back to this community. I mean, definitely want to do that. And but listen, there's still some old school mentality out there to some extent. But listen, as I said, my doors are open. I keep on getting questioned and all of that, and just I have a lot, once a week at least, people will
Totally
come
in
in
agreement.
actually.
I'm totally in agreement with you. My door has always been open, even before I started teaching and things and online. My door was always open to young photographers and always will be. I don't hold anything back. I try to give everybody everything I have, and I think you build a good life that way. I don't know about karma and all those things, but I just think you build a good life that way instead of being afraid that someone's going to take something from me. Um, I hate that feeling, so I give it
Right.
all
No,
away.
it's a wrong. Right. I mean, it's a wrong mentality because in the end of the day, I believe there's enough for everyone. I mean, it's just a growing industry, and everybody has his own style and in his own vision. I mean,
Yes.
So every potential client will look for a particular style, a particular vision. So there's no reason why,
So let me ask you a couple of pointed questions. Do you have a printed portfolio?
no, not yet. I was advised by a couple of friends and colleagues to do that, and maybe to do to mail, just reach out to, but I didn't get to that point yet. Um, it's part of, I don't know, a mentality of not being perfect. I'm not ready yet. Should I do it? But you know what? It's probably something I should be doing.
Yeah, at this point, I would probably say yes. A couple of reasons, by the way. I think, um, when ad agencies don't call your book in very often anymore, like they used
Mm-hmm.
to. But when they do, it's usually for big jobs, really
Mm-hmm.
big jobs. And the other thing is, there's just something magic about having it when you pick it up and you hold it and you know it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good feeling. It's a great feeling. I notice you're mostly in the studio here, and the art you have the architecture um,
Mm-hmm.
part of your portfolio, which you have of the same eye that you bring to the tabletop, you bring to the architecture. Are you doing much for clients?
Not much, to be very honest. I've been focusing much more on product and tabletop, so that area is kind of pretty quiet, I would say. So I didn't develop much in that area. I mean, and I personally feel that in the NXG, every young photographer has to kind of carve out their niche. It's almost impossible to be phenomenal in architecture and in cosmetics and in tech. I just want to kind of carve out like two or three niches and really kind of kill it in those areas. You know what I mean? I just
Excellent.
want to improve my beverage. I want to improve my cosmetics. I would say I like tech, I like cool gear. That's pretty much these three areas, maybe a bit more, and just kind of, I don't want to be the old know-it-all guy. I mean, I had clients come in and complaining, well, the guy is a wedding photographer and he shot our product. Yeah, it's not so. We need to redo this, weddings. I wouldn't do any weddings because I'm not good at it. I'm not focusing on weddings.
Right. Right. Smart.
No, serious. I have it. I had it the last three, two clients actually. I said, they had some friends actually, and the guy is a port. The guy does really good wedding work, and then somehow he said, well, we're gonna shoot your beverage actually. A guy actually, a team actually, they launched a new health beverage here in New York, and they said, well, I mean, it was nice actually. We got it for free, but it's a friend of ours. He shoots weddings, but
Yep. And then you look at the work and go, well, he may be a good wedding photographer, but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I have friends and families begging me. I mean, shoot my wedding. I mean, shoot our event. Shoot our. I mean, our portraits. And no, actually, I'm not going to. I'm not good at. I'm not focusing at it. I mean, I can't. If I don't deliver 101%, then I'm just, you know.
Yep. I refer. I always refer people to someone else, and I say, you want to hire a wedding photographer that absolutely loves. He gets up in the morning. She gets up in the morning, and they just want to do weddings. They love it. That's who
Everybody's
you want
wedding.
to do your wedding, not someone like me who's doing it out of a favor.
No,
Uh, just not the best way.
it's
You have
not because it's not.
it's
I'm
not
sorry.
authentic. Not from my heart. It's not. I can't give 100% to it. If I can't
Right,
give
right.
100% to it, I don't want to do it. Um, and now I'm old and cantankerous, so I can get away with that. Ah. Tell me just a little bit about how you go about acquiring clients.
That's the million-dollar question. I wish I would have the clear and concise answer. Um, so I would say it's again, as I mentioned, it's everything. It's a big puzzle actually. Marketing. That's the way I see it. I work with a professional SEO team. Actually, we're on the phone at least once a week, strategizing different areas where we can grow for more content, keywords. So Google search actually is a lot, just organic Google search. Social media, I would say actually, I did have contacts. Hey, I see you on social. Um, so I would say SEO, organics, social media, word of mouth is huge. Um, Established clients. That's pretty much what I can think of. And then actually a couple of marketing houses that know me actually that are familiar with my work. I should really be printing books and just dropping it off in these marketing houses. But yeah, that's pretty much as far as I can say. I mean,
And you were, I take it you were taking jobs before you went full time. You had some side jobs.
oh yeah, sleepless nights and mornings and whatever. I mean, yeah, of course, actually, from 7 till 1, actually, and then from in the evening, and then in the morning from 4 till 6:30, whatever. I mean, it's just, yeah, what's
Hmm. Making it happen, doing the hustle.
yeah, that was brutal, but yeah, that was good stuff. I mean,
There's no other way.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I keep saying to people, I love those Facebook things. Here you can have $100,000 business. And you only have to work 2 hours a week in your underwear. No, that's not true. Um, there's no business that allows you to do that. You want to succeed. You've got to work really, really hard. Well, um,
yeah.
what would you like to say to somebody? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people watching this interview who are just going to go, "Oh my gosh, guy's living the dream, and he's only been doing it for full time for a year. Part time, how long?"
Part-time, it's been probably, I would say, another 4 years that I've been doing it, not even more. I mean, just making that jump, that leap, that was brutal. I mean, that was really tough. I mean, it was very, I did actually, I made very nicely with it. B&H actually, they treated me really nice actually. I'm very appreciative of how they, dealt with, I mean, how they treated me. And, but again, actually, I just had to make that jump and move on. I had to create. I couldn't sit any longer in that gray cubicle. I mean, I had to go out and shoot and do it. Um, so till I made that jump, and I did that move that took a while. So until I said, what the heck? I mean, this is if not now, then never. Um, yeah.
So I'm gonna um, I'm gonna wrap this up, but before we wrap it up, I would like to have you tell yourself or tell the young photographers, the folks who, and some folks aren't so young. Some folks are nearing retirement age and they want to go out and be photographers. And I think it's definitely possible that they do. But what would be your number one advice? And then before we go, we got to do the tech questions because all the gearheads are going to want to know what cameras you shoot. So before we
Yeah.
get there, tell us a little bit about what you would tell those people wanting to go and make the break like you did.
Um, it's a good question. Let me see how I can phrase it. Um, uh, Let me tell you this. Actually, it's hard work. It's tough, but it will definitely pay up. I mean, it's definitely worth it. The demand is growing. It's a fact. I mean, there's a much stronger need for photography than it was ever, as we discussed actually earlier. I mean, everybody, we live in a visual world. There's no question about it. So the demand is here. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, I would say for the younger photographer, just keep on focusing. Actually, just grab a particular niche. Don't be the guy that does everything and anything. You're not gonna get nowhere. Focus a niche actually. Should it be still life, food, beverage, whatever it is, even a still life. Be actually the guy that kills cosmetics when he shoots cosmetics, whatever it is. Grab actually a niche into actually. There's a tons of content online. There's phenomenal. I mean, just get the most out of it. People are willing to share and not just sit in and listen, just simply execute it. Get a little inexpensive, get yourself some cosmetics, some beverage, whatever it is, and just shoot them. Build a portfolio. You'll see actually you'll have national agencies reach out to you. Actually, you see it every day actually and say, hey, we don't care. I mean, did you shoot this for Cole Handis Watch? I don't care actually, doesn't it? I mean, we love you. We love your work. We love your style. We want to work with you. Here's, what's your give us an estimate. This is what we need. Um, you know, so keep on focusing and working actually on your niche. Actually, grab a particular niche and work on your portfolio actually, even if you get busy, again, I would say actually you get busy with a lot of, you can get very busy with a lot of work, especially when you start out, that it's really not portfolio worthy. So just definitely dedicate a full day actually for personal work, for personal growth in the creative area, and then actually in the portfolio area. And and again, actually, in terms of marketing, getting your name out, I mean, it's everything. I mean, I tried a little bit SEO. Actually, I started myself actually, and I just also read up. There's a lot of information online today's day of age. It's a pretty straightforward process. It's doable. I never even thought I'll be able to come up on Google. I mean, how, why would I go so many big established studios in New York? Well, why would I come up there? But it's doable. It's a very simple process. Social media, every kid knows actually how to manage a little social media. It's not who knows what. And just that's, yeah, I mean, that's pretty
Hustle,
much what I can say.
hustle,
Yeah,
hustle,
hustle and
hustle.
hustle and hustle, yes.
Wonderful. Oh, okay. That is absolutely perfect. Perfect information for my folks because you're on the same page as I am. That's just fantastic. Tell me a little bit about your gear. What's your
Sure, sure. So gear is, let's see, we got the Nikon. We still have the D600 as a backup. The D800 is the primary camera. As far as lenses go, the 60 millimeter macro, the 105 macro. And recently I've been shooting probably 90% of the time with the Nikon 85 micro tilt shift, the PC lens, and the next lens will be hopefully the 45 PC. These tilt shift lenses are killing it. It's amazing what they can do. Um, that's pretty much in terms of glass. For lighting, it's all per photo lighting. Um, light modifiers, it's just a lot of, it's different diffusion materials. They do a lot of plexi, and depending on the size of the objects, that will all depend on the size of the objects. You go how big we want to go with the modifiers. The strip banks we do a little bit. No umbrellas, no umbrellas anymore. Barely do any soft boxes. It's strip banks and just diffusion materials, either plexis or we do Roscoe. I think it's 3008, and yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
fantastic? So it's not you don't have a ton of gear. You're
Not so well.
got,
Maybe not. I'm not sure.
a couple of lenses and a couple of good bodies, um, but you focus
Yeah,
on the gear that you need to do the images you shoot.
that's pretty much. I mean, if you have, listen, if it can be an Nikon D800, D810, a Canon 5D, the latest 5D, and some fixed lenses, I would say, a Sigma 50 hard would be cool to have. 100 millimeter macro from Canon and Nikon. Tilt shift lenses are really cool. You can get a 45 or an 85. Canon has the equivalent. I mean, three lenses, and that's pretty much what it is. It's all fixed glass that I work with, and that's it. I mean, again, I have a lot of young photographers entering in this industry keep asking me about the gear, and I totally understand. I'm also a gearhead, but it's not so much the gear. Two good lenses will pretty much do it. It's a technique. It's understanding the craft and being able to execute. That's what it is. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just a concern concern of beginners, like what gear do I need? I still don't have the right gear. I need that little piece of gear that's going to make me a better photographer. I know what it is. I'm coming from there. I
Yep,
understand.
yep. The lies we tell ourselves sometimes, because amazing amount of photography can be done with a one camera and one lens. You
Yeah,
the key comes to understanding what shots you can do with that camera
right.
and doing those shots. So
Yeah.
hey, this has
Um,
been really fun. I'm gonna sign off in this moment, but I want you to stay online, okay? So I can talk
sure.
to you a little bit. This has been really fun, fantastic personality. I wish you nothing but the best, man. I hope
Thank you.
that you rock and roll because it sounds like you're killing it out there. Super.
Yes, trying to.
Super. Well, you've got the right work ethic, my friend. So
Great.
thank you so much for being on Lighting Essentials, and I hope to talk to you again.
Thanks again. A quick question here. This is going to be in text as well, or just audio? I'm just
Just
thinking
be video,
just just video?
video and audio. Yep.
You
Yep.
don't have my video.
Yeah, I'm recording the screen.
Okay. I didn't get it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I thought you have my face on
Nope.
video. Got it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you
Thanks again.
for joining.